This is the Bucks POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Milwaukee Bucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Close finish at the end, but Jarrett Allen's putback was not in time as the Milwaukee Bucks get the nail-biting victory tonight over the visiting Cleveland Cavaliers, 118-116, their second consecutive win, and now have won 8 of their last 10. Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Locked On Bucks postcast. I am your host. My name is Brandon Sneide. No Butchie tonight. Butchie on assignment, which only means one thing: more room, more time for all of you to get your thoughts, your reactions, your celebrations as the Bucks beat the Cavaliers. A friendly reminder before we get rolling here, wherever you guys get audio podcasts, make sure you download the Locked On Bucks postcast. Now you can get myself, Butchie, as well on Justin and Camille for the Locked On Daily Show, wherever you guys get audio podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get them, you can now also get the Locked On Bucks postcast as well, and over on YouTube, where we are free and available as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, and if you're not already, make sure you hit that notification bell. Get notified when we go live. A close one tonight for the Bucks, and before the game even got started, you had a feeling, certainly I did, I put it over on the Twitter sphere at Brandon_Sneide, that this was a, quote, must-win game for the Milwaukee Bucks. No James Harden in this one for the Cleveland Cavaliers. No Evan Mobley in this one for the Cavs. Also, no Donovan Mitchell in this one for the Cavs. Obviously, on the Bucks side, you did not have Giannis, still out with that calf strain, but it was a much-needed victory for a few different reasons. Number one, you got to start stacking these wins together. Butchie talked about it last night after the Bucks beat the Toronto Raptors. This is a week where you have an opportunity. It's not an easy week, right? You started off with Toronto, a 28-point loss, a great win last night over the Miami Heat, a team you're currently chasing in the NBA play-in tournament. So a great win over the Heat. And again, a team, the Cavaliers, not at full strength. No, they're not. But I mean, really ask yourself throughout the NBA, who is at full strength, and the Bucks were not this evening as well. So not having Giannis in this one, Kevin Porter Jr. getting banged up a little bit. It could be a lingering ankle injury, still kind of bothering him. It didn't look like it affected him too much tonight. There was a couple moments where he came up, limping a little bit. Remember, he left that first quarter last night after rolling that ankle. So just kind of something to monitor. The Bucks obviously will after playing back-to-back days, will finally have a day off tomorrow and leading you until Friday when they play the New York Knicks at Pfizer Forum. But a really, really solid performance tonight from the Milwaukee Bucks. Now let's start off with the negative, right? Let's get the negative kind of out of the way, right? A 118-116 victory. So I'm not going to be too negative on the program tonight, but the one thing that almost destroyed the Bucks tonight was the rebounding. Cavaliers 44-36, 16 of those offensive rebounds. I believe at the half. Yeah, I have it written down here. 9 offensive rebounds for the Cavs at the half. Now, we knew that Jarrett Allen's going to cause those problems, right? Jalen Tyson tonight also having a boatload of rebounds. You got to give them credit where credit is due, but the Bucks, it's going to continue to be their issue. Defensive rebounds, they're fine, right? It's not a big issue. It's those second and third opportunity points that are just killing the Bucks. And the numbers, obviously speak volumes. I mean, the Cavs 25 second chance points in this one. They almost had more with the Jarrett Allen putback that just could not leave his fingertips in time as the Bucks held on. They were up 2. They win by 2 because they would count the basket at the end of the game, but they would eventually go to the monitor and wave that off. So the negative, obviously the rebounding. Free throws tonight, the Bucks only went to the line 5 times. Now, Cavaliers went to the line 27 times. Now, you're going to look at that and be like, why is that? Cavaliers' 3-point defense, atrocious. 27%, 27th place in the NBA. The Bucks put up 45 attempts. So the Cavs don't defend the 3. The game plan for me, it seems like it was rather simple, and the Bucks shot 42%, from 3-point range, making 19 of their 45. They had 55% as an overall field goal percentage. So a good night shooting the ball. And the bad, I got it out of the way, right? It was, for me, it's just the rebounding. Like, it's just the rebounding, the second chance points for the Cavs. That's kind of really where it is. There is some obvious issues. I know I see some comments, and we'll get to your thoughts, your reactions in this game, as well as the Bucks hold on to the 118-116 loss, about some turnovers that potentially could have, resulted in the Bucks losing in this one. 13 turnovers. Again, not as bad as it has been. They do lose the turnover battle, 13-11 for Cleveland, but that's kind of the bad. They moved the ball better tonight, guys. They moved the ball better tonight. 28 assists for the Milwaukee Bucks. Their defense tonight was spectacular in moments. Kevin Porter Jr., an unbelievable job from Kevin Porter Jr. tonight, defensively speaking. He was at half, he had 5 steals. They took one away, but he did finish with 5. So he had 4, and then he got himself back in to 5. Guys, everybody in the starting lineup tonight, it was Kyle Kuzma, Miles Turner, Kevin Porter Jr., AJ Green, Ryan Rollins, all of them scoring in double figures. All of them. You only had 4 guys come off the bench, 2 of them scoring in double figures. Guys, that's a heck of a stat right there for the Milwaukee Bucks, okay? 9 players started, 7 of them in double figures scoring. So the ball was finally moving. There was a period in time on the FanDuel broadcast for the Milwaukee Bucks where they kind of zoned in on Doc and what he was saying in the timeout. And I think it was 2 or 3 times it was move the ball, pass the ball, move the ball. How many times have we talked about this team? It really comes down to the basic fundamentals of basketball. Yes, it's a make or miss league. Put that to the side. Rebound the basketball. Don't turn it over. The Bucks do those things more times than not. They're walking out of that game with a victory. That's what happened 8 out of the last 10 games for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's why they've been victorious in 8 of their last 10. That's why they're playing some of the best basketball in this time of the year than we've seen in January, in December, in November. It's the little things that the Bucks, when they don't do those things. We saw it on Sunday against the Toronto Raptors. When you don't do those things, they turned the ball over a lot. They didn't spread the ball around. They didn't move the ball around, and they lost by 28 points. Now we have some comments that, Hawks fan 94 saying you barely won. You didn't have Mitchell, Harden, and Mobley. Yes, that's true, but the Bucks didn't have Giannis. No NBA team at this point in the season is healthy. No team, and there's no excuse. The Bucks can't look at this and try to mask this victory with, well, they didn't have X player, Y player, Z player. And I understand that those are big names for the Cleveland Cavaliers, as we mentioned. The Bucks just need victories. I don't care at this point how they necessarily get them. You want guys to stay healthy. You want guys to come in off of injury. You want to see eventually get Giannis going. You want to see Ousmane Dieng and Cam Thomas kind of continue to carry the momentum. It seems like the rope is slipping a little bit with the momentum. Just 7 points for Cam Thomas tonight, just 5 points for Ousmane Dieng. He only had 13 minutes. Cam Thomas only with 16. So you want to see, obviously, those minutes eventually increase, and I think those opportunities will increase. But a lot of good came out of this game, aside from those guys not playing for Cleveland. Number one, you got the victory. Finally, man, we have been talking about it for a week. You needed to get AJ Green going. You needed AJ Green to get going. You needed to get some shots up. And Sunday, he had 6 attempts. Going back Friday, he had 4 attempts, 6 attempts yesterday. You needed AJ to get going, and what a difference that is for the Milwaukee Bucks. They had 19 made 3-pointers. AJ Green had 5 of them, 50% from the 3-point performance, and that's what you need from AJ Green. You got to have that threat of him being able to knock down those shots. He did it early in this one. I wrote it down in the first quarter, sticking out. Again, when you have AJ Green scoring the basketball from 3-point range, it opens up everybody else. And then you look at Kyle Kuzma, again, another strong start in that first quarter with 8 points early in this one, setting the tone offensively for the Bucks, 17 points in 26 minutes. So again, handling your business. As a couple of comments from M2 Adventure saying, Brandon says Bucks had a solid performance tonight. Define solid. You got the victory. You won a ball game against a playoff team. You're 26-31 on the season. I don't care, guys, how pretty some of these wins are. You need to get them. That's the most important thing. So it's a solid win. You had a great performance tonight from AJ Green. You had a great performance tonight from Kyle Kuzma. You had a really good performance tonight. I should say great performance. You had a double-double from Jericho Sims, 11 points and 11 rebounds. You had an even scoring key across almost your entire roster that played tonight. All 5 of your starters, M2 Adventures, are in double figures. That's a solid night. Kevin Porter Jr. leading the way with 20. That's a solid win for me. Again, you can point to Donovan Mitchell not playing. You can point to Evan Mobley not playing. You can point to James Harden not playing. Oh, well, like the Bucks haven't played with Giannis for half their season. It is what it is. I don't need to make an excuse to define solid. It's a solid victory because you got the win in a much needed point in your season. You dug yourself into this hole, and the Bucks are slowly digging themselves out of this hole. And that is the only thing that right now I'm concerned about. Style points don't matter at this point. Style points do not matter as the Bucks get the 118-116 victory. We'll break down the turning point in the Locked On Bucks postcast player of the game and get some of your thoughts, your reactions, and your celebrations up next on the Locked On Bucks postcast. Tonight's Locked On Bucks postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Have you ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? Well, FanDuel is giving you a chance to turn that dream into reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. That's right. The flights, the tickets, the whole experience. If you're already looking at the board and thinking which team can make a run, and maybe it is the Bucks, just maybe it is the Milwaukee Bucks, well, now is the perfect time for you to lock it in. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Once again, visit FanDuel.com today to get started. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inboxes overflowing, and the one position you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for, the skills, the experience, and the location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that kind of says it all. In the 30 seconds or so I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all of your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Listeners of the Locked On Bucks postcast will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support the Locked On Bucks postcast by saying you heard about Indeed on this very show. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to do that hire, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Thank you for making Locked On Bucks your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcasting network. It's a 118-116 victory tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks. Back and forth all game long, back and forth in that fourth quarter. A Jared Allen hook shot just sticking to the fingers long enough for the Bucks to hold on to that 2-point victory. Now 26-31 on the season. When did this game turn for the Bucks? Let's break down our Locked On Bucks victorious edition of our Turning Point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the Turning Point.
For me, it is the fourth quarter, and the Bucks in this one just coming alive late in this game. And really, it was one of those games where it felt like it could have went in two different directions. Like it didn't feel great in that third quarter. Didn't feel great in parts of the fourth quarter. Certainly early on in that fourth quarter, the Cavs on a 9-0 run early in that fourth quarter. I mentioned the Bucks really not getting to the free throw line. So there were moments where it was just it really up until about 2.5 minutes was really hanging in the balance. But I have two turning points, and it's kind of a 1A, 1B. And one of them starts a little bit earlier in that fourth quarter. I mentioned the Cavs going on a 9-0 run in that fourth quarter. The 31-footer from AJ Green to give the Bucks a 1-point lead at 101-100. Now, keep in mind, prior to that was when the Cavs were going on a run. The Bucks were finding themselves in a bit of a hole, and it really was kind of a make it or break it type situation for the Bucks in that moment. And they found themselves crawling back and getting back. And it's important, obviously, as Doc Rivers had talked about, when you lose like you did against Toronto and responding against Miami, you had a great win last night. You didn't want to foul that up with falling behind early in the fourth quarter and never being able to catch up. AJ Green knocking down 3 of his 15 points on that 31-footer. Again, it was early-ish in that fourth quarter, but I'm going to go to a little bit later in that fourth quarter. Jericho Sims had back-to-back dunks that obviously gave the Bucks the lead in this one. The first one on something that has been the Bucks' issue all season long was offensive rebound. Jericho Sims picking up the garbage, putting it back into the hoop, giving the Bucks a lead after that. And then once again, on the very next possession, because of the fear of Kevin Porter Jr. being able to drive to the basket and Jericho Sims trailing to his right, he was able to find Jericho Sims and put that one in as well. So 4 of his 11 points there from Jericho Sims coming in a crucial moment in this game for the Bucks. Obviously, you could also look at the Jared Allen not getting the shot off in time as a turning point. But again, a really good performance all around from the Milwaukee Bucks. As we have mentioned, 7 players in this one in double figures, all 5 starters for the Bucks in double figures. That includes Kevin Porter Jr. leading the way for Milwaukee tonight with 20 points. You feel if you're looking at stats and you're looking at something that you just want to feel good. And I know there's some mixed feelings when it comes to Ryan Rollins, 2 points away from his 4th straight 20 or more points scoring tonight. So just Ryan Rollins just missing the mark tonight, but he had 18 as well. And Kevin Porter Jr. making the big shot when the Bucks needed it, making that 15-foot fadeaway jump shot with 20.2 seconds. That would give the Bucks the lead. You could also pinpoint that as one of your turning points. But let's get right into it. It's another victorious edition of the Locked On Bucks Postcast Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Well, honorable mentions. I kind of already mentioned them, but I do want to mention them again because I've been a little hard on them, and I do think it's right for them to get the honorable mention tonight. AJ Green, just a great bounce back performance. Great bounce back performance from what we have seen really since the All-Star break has just been lost. And AJ Green tonight, it felt like he got a little bit of his mojo back tonight. As I've mentioned, 15 points, 5 of 10 from 3-point range, and the Bucks, they just needed it. And you would imagine when Giannis gets back, that'll get better. So I'm going to give an honorable mention to AJ Green. Also an honorable mention, a guy I was a little rough on the last few nights as well. Miles Turner, 15 points in 24 minutes tonight. Didn't shoot the ball a ton, 6 of 9 from the field, but again, provided a little bit of spark, a little bit of offense this Bucks team needed and was enough in that starting spot to get things rolling in that second half, scoring wise for the Bucks. So those are my 2 honorable mentions, but my Locked On Bucks Postcast Player of the Game is Kevin Porter Jr. And it's not just because he was 10 of 16 from the field and not because he led the team with 20 points on tonight. It's the rebounding and defense from Kevin Porter Jr. tonight. 8 rebounds for Kevin Porter Jr. 8 rebounds and 5 assists for Kevin Porter Jr. Again, also Ryan Rollins. I know a lot of Bucks fans have sort of this mixed feeling with Ryan Rollins. Give him a little bit of credit as well. 1 assist away from a double-double tonight for Ryan Rollins with 18 points and 9 assists. So again, when those 2 guys are moving the ball and you get 14 assists between the 2 of them, that's usually good things for the Milwaukee Bucks. That usually spells victories for the Bucks, and that's exactly what we saw tonight. All right, let's get into it. The Bucks win 118-116, victorious edition of the Locked On Bucks Postcast. So I better hear some celebrations, some not many frustrations, and let's have some fun. What are your thoughts about how the Bucks won this evening? MHT33 says, people complaining about, oh, we only just won this one. Every game you play without Giannis, you just need to find a way to win. Doesn't matter how or what it looks like. You just need to win. I absolutely couldn't have said it better myself. I do not need style points. Right now, they do not matter if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan. You do not matter how it gets done. If the Bucks are victorious, who cares how it gets done? Heck, Thanasis can be your leading scorer for the game. I could care less. If the Bucks get the victory, Doc Rivers can make the most idiotic decisions, And we see it a lot. If the Bucks win right now, that is the only thing I am focused on. You're winners of 8 of your last 10, and you are soon, hopefully, Doc Rivers has no idea, but you're soon, hopefully, going to get Giannis back. So that is what I'm excited about. 414 Decker says, I'm so happy right now. Brandon, what makes Sims so dominant on the glass? He's quick on his feet. He's physical. He's agile. He's tenacious. I absolutely love Jericho Sims. I loved him last year when the Bucks traded for him, or I don't remember if they traded for him. I don't off the top of my head if he was a buyout candidate. Exactly what happened with Jericho Sims? I think he was traded for. But either way, those are the things, right? Like he's quick on his feet. He can jump through the ceiling. Like he's super athletic, and he's tenacious. And those are the things that you need from Jericho Sims. And again, in 29 minutes, 11 points, 11 rebounds. Yeah, that's going to get the job done for me. So I'm all about the Jericho Sims love as we got a few more Jericho Sims comment. The more Jericho Sims play, the more confident he becomes, and the better he plays. Terrific performance tonight. Yeah, you can mention him as a honorable mention if you would like as the Locked On Bucks postcast player of the game. 29 minutes and then double. And it feels like every time he plays, there's moments where he's just kind of outmatched and kind of in no man's land, but it just feels like every performance you just continue to build that confidence and you continue to give him more. The only thing I will say, I want him to be a little bit more unselfish, just a little bit more unselfish. And the ball moves with Jericho Sims. Butchie has talked about it. I have talked about Pete Nance as another guy where the ball moves. We didn't see Pete Nance for the last few games, but for me, it is, if you're under the hoop or you're in that dunker area, just go up with it, man. Like I know you're looking for that open guy in the corner or at the top of the key. I would just love him to take maybe 1 or 2 more of those opportunities. Marcus Johnson has alluded on it a little bit. So I just want him to kind of not be totally unselfish, but just take a few more opportunities. And just even if it's, scoring or at least getting to the free throw line as we got another comment here. When the free throw line discrepancy, boy, was that wild. Yeah. And again, it's not necessarily too surprising. I mean, 5 for the Bucks, 27 for the Cavs. You look at that and you're like, what in the heck was that? I don't honestly know, especially when you got Ryan Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas who like to attack the basket, but the Bucks just did not get to the line tonight. The Cavs certainly did. And that could have been a big talking point if the Bucks had lost this game. But as I have mentioned, I have it written down here. Let me make sure I find it. The Cleveland Cavaliers do not defend the 3-point arc at all. 27th in efficiency defensively in the NBA. So they don't defend the 3. The Bucks obviously took advantage of that early on. AJ Green with a couple of threes, Miles Turner. Obviously you had Ryan Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr. in that mix as well. So that's kind of what I think was the game plan. I'd have to go back and watch, each possession, but it did feel like the game plan for the Bucks was just kind of, find your shot. And if it's there, take it. James, an everydayer of the Locked On Bucks postcast, says Kevin Porter Jr. over Ryan Rollins. He is simply a better distributor. Well, yes, overall, probably tonight, James. I mean, Ryan Rollins had 9 assists. Like Kevin Porter Jr. had 5. I think they're both good. Ryan Rollins had a couple of bad turnovers. Like, I'm a Ryan Rollins fan. Those turnovers were inexcusable, especially late in the game, and it allowed Cleveland to get back in, to a 1-possession game. So I think you have a people want to call it one or the other. They're both on the court, you guys, to close that game out. It's a good thing. Ryan Rollins' defense, along with Kevin Porter Jr.'s defense, which doesn't feel like it's getting talked enough about because it has been spectacular. It's good. It's good. It's a good, I wouldn't even say problem. It's good to have both of them certainly on the court as the Bucks get tonight the 118-116 victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers, improving to 26-31 on the season. Finally, an off day on Thursday. Just a quick show note before we do get out of here. No postcast on Friday. I'll actually be in attendance. I'm taking my 10-year-old to the game. His school will be there. He'll be on the court for the pregame festivities. So we will be in attendance on Friday. We'll pick things back up on Sunday as the Bucks will travel down to Chicago for a matinee over the weekend. So we'll pick things back up on Sunday. But it's a victorious edition of the Locked On Bucks postcast. 118-116 victory tonight. My thanks to each and every one of you. Thank you guys for making Locked On Bucks part of your day each and every day. And look, I didn't take over for Justin or Camille. You can still get them on the Daily Show all week long. We are here after the Bucks games. And once again, wherever you get audio podcasts, you can get the Locked On Bucks postcast as well. Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get audio podcasts, you can now get the Locked On Bucks postcast. And you can get us also over on YouTube, free and available on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed to the Locked On Bucks channel. Make sure you smash the thumbs up on these videos and hit that notification bell. Get notified when we go live, and we will go live once again on Sunday. A good victory tonight, any victory from here on out is a good victory for the Bucks, and this one falls in that category. My thanks to each and every one of you. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, win or lose, make sure you stay locked on Bucks.